Everybody, and welcome to our first virtual cocktail class. We are doing cocktails that taste great and turn heads. So the first cocktail we're going to start with today is called the Melancia. It's a great summertime drink, really nice around the pool, but you can certainly drink it in the wintertime. No one will judge you. It is a frozen drink, so this one is great if you have a blender at home. So the first thing we're going to do is talk about some of the ingredients that we're going to use in this cocktail. The main spirit in this is cachaça, which is a Brazilian rum. If you've ever had a caipirinha, that is the main spirit in a caipirinha. So we are going to be using that. We do have a vanilla simple syrup that we make in-house. You can certainly make simple syrup at home in a pot, equal parts of sugar and water, simmered until the sugar dissolves, and then you let it cool. In the case of the vanilla simple syrup, we steep it with vanilla bean. Again, let it cool, and then bottle it for bar use. We're also going to use fresh watermelon juice. Now, you can certainly buy watermelon juice at the store. I promise you the Whole Foods across the street has watermelon juice. But we did juice watermelon in-house, so we're going to use that for this drink today. And as far as cocktails go, this is going to be one of the easiest cocktails for you to make. Now, when we talk about making cocktails, one of the first things we want to talk about is the tools of the trade, right? So we always want to make sure we have our strainers. We always want to make sure we have our shakers. But for this cocktail, and I know most people who like to drink won't want to see this, we like to use our jigger. Okay, so a jigger is what we use to measure alcohol going into our cocktail, making sure we're not over pouring. Now, if you got this drink for the kit, the amount of alcohol you're going to need to make this is already going to be sent to you in the kit. But I can tell you that if you want to make this with more alcohol, less alcohol, you certainly can. Just make sure, as far as it being a frozen drink, you check your consistency to make sure that it's not a little too watery or a little too icy. So most jiggers, and there are different ones, most jiggers are 1 ounce on one side, 1.5 ounce on the other side. That's going to make it nice and easy for you to measure the majority of cocktails that you do. So for this cocktail, we're going to use 1.5 ounces of the cachaça. Okay, so we're going to measure that, and we're going to take that right to the edge. All right. We're going to take 1.5 ounces of our fresh squeezed watermelon juice. And you know what? I made this yesterday, and it was still a little icy. So we're going to take 1/2 ounce of our vanilla syrup. And then fresh lime. We're going to take 1/2 ounce of fresh lime juice. Okay, you're going to squeeze that. You don't have to squeeze it into the jigger. I do it for myself, so I can make sure it looks the way I mean it to. All right, and then you're going to use 1 cup of ice. All right, so I have this handy dandy ice well here. I know most people don't at home, but you want to do 1 cup of ice, and then we're going to move over to our blender. I promise you this is going to be very loud because this is a commercial blender, but it'll get the job done. Done. So our next tool of the trade, bar spoon, iced teaspoon. A lot of people have these at home and don't use them for anything. Okay, we're going to take a highball glass, Collins glass, whatever you call it, a juice glass. You probably have a couple laying around at home that you don't use. All right, and we are going to put that right into this glass. Texture-wise, you're looking for frozen margarita, pina colada consistency. Again, if you add more alcohol, you may need to add more ice just to help thicken it out a little bit. Otherwise, it can be a little bit runny. And then what I like to do for this, just to really get that watermelon flavor coming through, once we have it in our glass, we top it with just a little bit more of that watermelon juice. And we garnish this one with a big old orange wedge. All right, very seasonal. And I have, you can drink it with a straw, you can eat it with a spoon, you can do whatever makes you happy. But this is our first drink for this series, the Melancia, watermelon, cachaça, vanilla syrup, and lime juice. Enjoy.